Hello and welcome to While We're Here. My name is Grace Birko and I hope you are having an amazing day. There are over 8 billion people in the world. That's a big ol' number, encompassing a huge range of thoughts, feelings, opinions, interests. Welcome to While We're Here with Grace Birko, a podcast where we talk about the things that are important to us while we're here on this earth. There's so much that we can learn from one another, and every single conversation has the opportunity to be more profound than we could ever realize. On this episode, I will be interviewing one of my very best friends, Brenna Hiss. Our conversation ranged from what it's like moving across the entire country, to the importance of books and movies and songs, and to the importance of math. Follow me on Instagram at While We're Here Podcast and enjoy. Thanks for listening. And thanks for being here. Hello. Today I am here with
Brenna.
Bestie Brenna. Brenna, how long have we been friends?
Well,
it's complicated.
We've known each other since we were in kindergarten. We didn't like each other.
No.
I didn't like you.
Oh, I didn't like you after what you did to me.
Okay, so, what I did to you, it wasn't that, okay. I wanted to be the only
Backtracking.
kindergartner that liked Star Wars because I was in kindergarten and things like that really mattered to me. And so when I found out that Grace also likes Star Wars,
Thank you.
I don't know, I got a little
Papa Hiss and Papa Birko.
I got a little bit jealous. And so on Valentine's Day, I handed out Star Wars Valentines, and Grace knew about this.
It's true.
Really wanted Princess Leia.
She was my favorite.
Because girl power.
Of course. I was Princess Leia for Halloween one year.
Which given. That's a given. And I gave her Jabba the Hutt. Because I knew. I hit her where it hurts.
You did. I was not happy. I was like, wow, you're calling me fat?
Calling you obese.
You're calling me an obese
space
alien.
As a kindergartner, I don't think that's what I meant by it. I think
it's absolutely what you meant.
I think it was just more like this is not a very well-liked character. Let's give it to someone that I don't want to be well-liked.
Yeah, you wanted the ugliest character.
Well,
just for me.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry. Forgive the slight ASMR that we're going to be doing.
Oh yeah, we're painting.
We're painting some air dry clay.
Mm-hmm.
Because Brenna is back in town.
Yeah.
She is not usually here in Kalamazoo, but it was her graduation present, right?
Yes, this is my graduation gift to come back to Kalamazoo. I currently live in Florida, in Fort Myers. About to start living in Orlando, though.
That's more exciting.
It's more exciting.
Yeah.
I will say, say what you will about Florida. I know I've definitely said some things about Florida. But it is really, a nice place to live. Fort Myers is, southwest. So, it's in the Gulf of Mexico.
Thank you.
And, yeah, of course. I will always call it the Gulf of Mexico.
That's what it is.
And so it's by the Gulf, which was, really cool, moving from a peninsula, which was lakes, to, literally the Gulf of Mexico, which you, read about, and you're like, whoa, that's, that's so big. She a big girl.
Yeah.
The Gulf. She's big.
I'd love to, I really want to come visit you.
Yes, you absolutely should.
I really, really want to.
I've been up here a few times, and I understand now coming down, though. It's definitely, more of a, you have to make more of a trip out of it.
Sorry.
When I come up here, I'm visiting everyone, but if you go down there, you have to find things to do, because you don't have as many people in Florida.
No, but there's, so much stuff to do there.
Yeah, there is.
There
is a lot of stuff to do, even, the small towns that I'm, around. There's, a lot. I mean, they're not small, but, comparison to Orlando.
Yeah, compared to where you're going.
Fort
Myers.
Where,
I've been in Florida.
Exactly.
Obviously I've been to Orlando many times because...
Have you been anywhere else in Florida?
I don't really think so, no. Because we only ever go there to go to Disney.
It's actually quite nice. They have... I think Naples is pretty. Naples is rich. But they have some nice places. My brother plays football, so we've done his, football, stuff. We've gone to Naples for, banquets and stuff like that.
Yeah. Isn't there? I might sound really stupid when I say this, but isn't there like a big team out of Naples? Like I feel like Naples is.
Probably. I am probably not too educated on that.
That's okay. That's okay. It was a shot in the dark, but I
Yeah.
took it. I took it anyways.
Yeah. And which you should. As you should.
Moving to Florida, it was obviously a really big change.
Yeah.
Because you moved at the end of sophomore year.
Sophomore year, yep.
And so what has it been like trying to adjust to kind of that new life, but also staying connected to people like me who are here in that quote unquote like old life?
Well, I will say at first it was definitely more of a challenge because it's like grappling with and coming to terms with the fact that like a move like that is going to like show you who your real friends are.
Yeah.
And like who actually continues to reach out, who actually wants to hang out with you, who's actually making time to connect with you even when you're so far away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like not, it's no longer those superficial relationships of like, oh, you're gonna be there, so I'll hang out with you.
You're my history partner, so therefore
we're like best friends and stuff
let's
like
go
that.
do everything together.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's like you have to find, and it in like I'm not even just saying it's on other people, like the responsibility of the people back home, but like for me, it was like which people do I actually want to give my time to?
Yeah.
Like I had to prioritize. I mean, it shows you that like relationships really are like things you need to put work into.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I learned that so early, like before college.
Yeah.
Because now everyone is gonna have to learn it anyway.
Absolutely.
And I just got like a head start, which is cool.
I feel really lucky to have learned that lesson as well.
Yeah, I think it helped us a lot.
Absolutely. Well, because I obviously have you, but then my other friend Bay also, who
right, exactly. I
moved
remember
to North Carolina.
She was the standard of comparison for me leaving.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was just I had like a weird thing where like two of my very, very best friends both moved completely like out of the state.
Out of the state, far, not just like nearby state.
No, it's not like you moved to Indiana and I can like drive up and see you guys all the time. It's like, no, I'm not really gonna see you. And what does it mean to be friends? What does it actually mean to care about someone in that way and have a relationship in that way?
Yeah.
And then I think that really helped me when my boyfriend went to college and I was still here, and obviously much less of a distance than my friends, but still really helped me in understanding what I need to do to be successful in those relationships still.
Yeah, exactly.
And what is worth it, you know? Cause
yeah, like what is worth your time when you're that far away?
And what does it mean to have people who are willing to put the work in, and you are also willing to put that work in, you know? It's like that mutual care that you can have with someone. Wow, Brenna, your paint is drying really fast.
Is yours not?
I mean, I'm sure it is. I just like not touching it because it's.
Yeah, I know. This is all dry.
That's really quite nice.
If you need the water at all.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to make strawberries, but it just kind of looks funky right now. But like, it'll look normal.
Oh yeah, and for people that can't see, we're painting.
I'm painting a little jewelry dish.
I am painting a donut.
Yes, it's kind of looking like a Simpsons donut.
That's kind of. I was going for that like classic Homer Simpson donut. It's gonna have pink frosting because when I think Grace, I think yellow and pink.
Oh, I love you.
Because Grace was Rusty in our sophomore musical Footloose.
Yes.
Because we're theater nerds.
We are theater nerds.
And we're also in sync. And Rusty had a pink hat. And so pink automatically Grace.
I do love pink. But music has been something that has been really influential in both of our lives. In different ways too, which I think is really beautiful.
I know. Very, very much so.
Yeah, and so obviously we were both like in musicals together. But also we've kind of had our own journeys with experiencing what it means to make music and what it means to be creative in that kind of way. And so I just kind of want to talk to you a little bit about what music means to you. And I think kind of like what, oh my gosh, I just thought I was going to get killed by a bug, but it was actually a wish flower.
It was just a wish flower.
And kind of like how making music makes you.
Yeah.
and what it does for you.
Mm-hmm. So, for me, music has always been part of my life because of my parents. My dad was in a band. My mom, most avid concert goer. And so music has always just kind of been like, part of my life. Um, I've always loved playing guitar. My dad gave me my first guitar lesson in the first grade, and I didn't touch it for a while, but I picked it back up really avidly after I moved to Florida, because for me, like, connecting to how I would answer the question, music is like it's like music can be like a place. It's like a place you can go to feel comfortable, to express yourself. Music can kind of create like a sort of, I don't know, I guess the best way to put it is like a dome around your emotion, but it can also be like a window into how you really feel. Music is so transparent, and it
That was
can also
beautiful.
be. Thank you.
This is another thing about Brenna. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
You can continue on about music in just a moment. For this brief intermission, though, I have to tell the listeners, Brenna is what I would like to call my favorite author. And she's literally at my phone as that.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is she beautiful with her words in writing, but she is also one of the most amazing speakers that I have ever met. Just because she has a way of using her words so poetically and just perfectly describing what it means to be human. And that's why I wanted Brenna to be part of why, obviously, because she's my best friend too, but part of why I wanted her to be the first guest on here, because Brenna is someone who is just so perfectly human. And I just love that about you.
Oh,
anyway,
thank you.
Continue on about music.
I love that you. Thank you. I love that you recognize that so eloquently, and like in a way that we both obviously understand so like well. Yeah, of course. Where was I? I forget.
You were just talking about like what?
Oh yeah, what music is.
Yeah, and playing the guitar and how that your
And
dad
and even just like, not even, you don't even have to play any instrument or write music or sing to like understand that music can have some sort of value beneath surface level. I mean, I have some favorite bands. Since I started dating my boyfriend, it's been pretty much like straight 70s classics with rock.
Yeah.
I really like Pink Floyd because they're a perfect example of how music can go below surface level. And
Yeah.
their albums, like, always deliver some sort of meaning, some sort of message, some story that, like, yes, the music is good on its own, very catchy, written well, but it's always a story. Like The Wall, for example. The Wall is about it's about a rock star named Pink, who his father goes to war, and his mother, well, in the song called Mother, it's very popular actually. That's one of their most popular songs, probably because it's the mother singing to the son about how she's gonna take care of everything for him. She's gonna protect him, and she essentially builds this wall around him. And their most, like, literally their number one hit, Another Brick in the Wall, is like a song about how things just like continue to build up as you go on with your life, and you build walls around yourself using these bricks of people that you know, things that happen to you, and you shelter yourself, especially when you're in a position like a rock star, who not everyone might be upfront with you, not
So they're
everyone.
like low-key really meta.
Yeah.
So
They, like, it's like rock stars. It's like
rock stars who like
have you ever listened
really
to
think.
Dashboard Confessional?
No, so here's the thing. Is that a Pink Floyd song?
No, that's the band.
Oh.
He didn't like when people sang along to his music, because it was like, you can't relate to this, why are you singing
This
it?
is my music.
This is my story. And like, I really get that. I was just kind of yapping about Pink Floyd, but
No,
like,
I love
it's a
it.
perfect example of like, these things are very political. Music is political. Music can be used politically.
And I think that's with all art.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
You
It's
know?
just that I feel like music is probably one of the most common types
Yeah.
of that rebellion, of that, form.
Yeah, well, it's something that everyone you can take it deeper if you really want to, but it's also, you can take it at a complete surface level.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because sometimes that's what you need.
Sometimes and especially, like, if you can't take things at surface level and learn to enjoy them, then you're never gonna learn to enjoy them deeper.
Facts.
Like, if I had never, like, been willing to listen to, The Longest Time by Billy Joel. Like, if I had never been willing to listen to that and sing it for choir, I would have never realized that Billy Joel is literally probably one of the best lyricists. Lyricists.
There you go.
Best storytellers. I mean, The Stranger is my favorite album of all time.
God, that song.
The Stranger?
Because Brenna's been obsessed with The Stranger for probably as long as we've been, like, close friends.
Yeah, since, like, the start of high school, which now I've graduated.
Yeah, whoa, weird. But yeah.
The longest time, for real.
For the longest time. But no, The Stranger, like, I always knew that you loved it. And I think I'd probably listened to it, like, once or twice, but not, like, actually.
It's actually not a very common song.
No, but it just, like, I felt like it was because you love it so much.
Right.
And I listened to it probably a few months ago, and I was like, dang, this is a really, like, catchy song. And then I was like, wait, this is a really good song.
Yeah, I know.
Guys, I feel like it's so easy to just, like, take things for granted of, like, oh my god, yeah, like, other people like this. That's, like, kind of, like, their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever, ever be afraid to like it, too. Like, it's not, like, necessarily bad to, like, quote-unquote, like, copy someone.
Like, you don't always have to be the leader.
Yeah.
Because no one really has original thoughts anymore. Honestly, like...
Even when I was trying to come up with names for this podcast, I was like, oh my god, every podcast ever has been made.
Literally.
And I'm so sorry if your podcast is also called While We're Here.
We didn't know, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a different kind of... Maybe, like, they don't do the same thing.
I hope so. But
I don't think I've ever heard of one called While We're Here, though.
I haven't either. But maybe
also,
I just haven't done
I
a
listen
deep enough
to...
dive into podcasts.
Yeah, I, like, listen to only, like, a few. And I've only recently begun getting into, like, listening to stuff that's not music. I had an issue with listening to people talking for a while.
Really?
Unless it was in a song, yeah. And then I realized, like, oh, if I can listen to people talking in a song, I should be fine to listen to them, like, talking and reading a book or talking about...
Right.
Yeah.
I get that. I feel like I was kind of the opposite. I always had a hard time, and as much as I literally love music, I always kind of had a hard time... What was on you?
A bug.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what kind. It flew.
I'm really sorry. That's
okay.
Traumatizing.
I know, it was rough. That's alright.
I am proud of you.
Thank you.
But I just had, like, kind of a hard time listening to music and, like, enjoying myself. Like, I always felt like my brain, like, couldn't turn off and just enjoy it. Like, I needed to analyze it or, like, try and harmonize with it or something, like, stupid like that.
Real. I turned it into strawberry milk.
Oh, perfect. That's gorgeous. Drink it. Just kidding. That's toxic. And so I really liked listening to podcasts because it just felt like I was having a conversation with someone, but, like, I was being a really good listener.
I mean, yeah. I'm sure they do have really good listeners. And, like, the sad thing is, most of them will never know.
Most of them will never know that I'm one of their best listeners.
I'm
really good at it.
I might not be because I listen to podcasts at work, which means I'm, like, talking to other people during podcasts. I'm cashing people out.
No, I lock in.
I try to lock in. I'm half locked. I'm like key half turned.
But if that's what you need, that's what you need, too.
True. It helps me, like, unwind, and since I close when I work.
Yeah.
It's like, get ready for the night, calm down.
I kind of want to tell them, like, why I started this.
Can I use
First
that
episode.
Brush?
Yeah, 1000%.
Can I use your pink?
Of course you can use my pink. Here it is.
My pink is, like, all dry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I, for the longest time.
Oh, good.
Good
That's
reference,
a good one.
reference. Let's have a counter on it.
For the longest time counter.
For the longest time counter. I'll try and sneak it into every episode.
Oh, that's good. Or Billy Joel reference every
Billy Joel
music,
reference.
any music reference.
Like a lyric. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a song. Yeah, a song reference.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's good. We're starting that now.
Starting it now. You guys are here. But for the longest time, I wanted to be a talk show host because I think that everyone has such beautiful stories to tell. And I also just love listening to people's stories.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best parts of life, just having a conversation. I think that's what it's all about, is the people that you meet and the connections that you can make with them. And so here we are.
Yeah.
I got a podcast mic for my graduation, and we're giving it a go.
We're doing it.
Why not? Right?
Yep.
You only live once.
Yep. You said it longer than me.
You said it more concise. You were more succinct.
Right, but I also was like conforming to the society's ways of saying things. It wasn't very Orwellian of me.
Yeah. Brenna's been telling me all about George Orwell.
Guys, get on 1984, get on Animal Farm. I feel like it's so important to like, you can't knock it till you try it, kind of like with the classics. Like, I mean, I read Moby Dick when I was in 3rd grade.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
And that's the thing, like, I read it, and
Let's do this.
Yeah. And I read it, and I was like, oh, this is a good book. But now, like, if I read it again, I'd be like, this is so political, guys. Like, and that's why I waited with 1984. Because, like, I would have read it probably early high school. But I don't know. I, like, felt that there would be a time when I would, like, I would know. Yeah, I would know. And now we're literally, like, living in it.
Which is crazy. I really need to read it.
It's really good. Grace has not read it, so I will not say anything. Besides that, I don't know. Books don't usually make me, like, emotional. Like, they make me, like, emotional. Like, I can connect to the characters. But this one, like, I connected to the characters and, like, also the society in which they were living. And that kind of scared me. It, like, was, like, an existentialism, kind of.
Just something that you didn't necessarily go into it knowing you would realize.
Right. It's like I learned about myself by reading the book, which automatically puts it like towards the top of my list because honestly it might be top 3.
Hey Brenna, I have a really good question. How do you draw the top of a strawberry?
I usually do like 3 little,
like a little like boom,
or even just 2 maybe. I usually do. That's
Is
cute.
that cute?
Yeah. I'll show you, like, I would do, like, oh, you can't see her. Oh. Here, let me do it on. I would do, like, oh, hello, water. A line, maybe?
Okay, good.
Or you can do some with 2,
I like
some
that.
variation.
I like
Not
that
every strawberry is the same. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a brief intermission for our painting.
Mm-hmm.
Books are so important. They really, really are.
That literally. I was just gonna say that, but also, like, going on with that, like, read a book.
Read a book.
If you don't like to read,
one up.
too bad.
Pick one up. You will be grateful for it.
One day they're gonna be gone, and you're gonna regret not reading.
Yeah.
Also, get on Alan Gratz.
What?
Do you like Alan Gratz, the author?
I don't think I've ever heard of Alan Gratz.
Someone out there has. Alan Gratz. If you're, like, under the age of 18, I feel like Alan Gratz is probably monumental because he wrote like historical fiction.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Prisoner B something.
Oh, those books.
Yeah, the like refugee, those.
I got you.
I love Alan Gratz. And he wrote them so, like, it was like children's politics. It was like, hey, this is what has gone on in the world and going on in the world.
This is something to pay attention to.
This is how people reacted to it. Would you react to it like that? And I was just like, dang. He was the child's Orwell.
It's so important to ask yourself those questions, you know? And I think that's why reading is so important.
Because it prompts you to.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
it inspires you to ask questions. Wow. And I think, gorgeous.
She's a little
These are the important things. Asking questions, having conversations, and doing fun things.
Exactly. That's what this podcast is all about.
That's true.
This is true.
Beautiful.
Do people do, is it like rainbow sprinkles on the?
Yeah, I think it's rainbow. I tried to grab a good assortment of colors from downstairs.
Yeah.
Well, while we're here,
Haha.
I would
Name of
love
the
to
show.
talk a little bit about something I've been thinking about a lot recently.
Mm-hmm.
And Brenna and I just kind of had a conversation about this because we were playing my favorite game ever, While We're Strangers. Or not, what? Well,
While We're Strangers.
While We're Strangers. No, not really strangers. We're not really strangers. I promise it is actually my favorite game. I'm just like, my brain is turned off.
That's
painting.
okay.
And we were talking a little bit about, because we had a question that was literally just admit something. Not even a question. Just a statement. And I kind of started talking a little bit about expressing myself and what it means to, express who you are, your individuality through your outside external appearance. And while we're here, I'd just love to talk a little bit about that because I thought it was a really good conversation that we had.
That's good. Yeah.
I was talking about how I've been kind of feeling weird just about like the way that I express myself in terms of like second guessing, like, oh, is this way that I'm like dressing true to who I am as a person? And like thinking about it in this incredibly like deep moral way, and just really truly overthinking it. But and then like feeling guilty because it was on my mind so much.
Right.
And just kind of feeling weird about all of that. And Brenna, as the wonderful human being she is, has so much wisdom to share.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I think I said something along the lines of, like, first of all, I have to preface it by giving my little story about my manager, because I work at a Walgreens in Florida, and I worked there for about a year, and say what I will about the store, and say what you will about the store. We do like shout outs and we put up stuff, like we put up reviews that people have left that are good, and it serves as a reminder that, like, even on the days where you feel like you don't like yourself, there's someone random out there that came into the store that did. That is gorgeous. Grace,
do you like it?
Grace painted a very, very good little jewelry plate, and I love it.
So excited. I love strawberries so much. Like, literally so much. Anyways, but yes, I think it's always important to remember our worth.
Yeah.
And that
you perceive yourself in a way. It was because we had a friend over last night, and we were talking about how, are we intimidating? What was your first impression of me? And it's so incredible how different the perceptions of one another are, even knowing each other the same amount of time.
Yeah.
With a lot of the same, experiences
and interactions.
And seeing how different even best friends can perceive each other. And so that's kind of what started my trail of thought, which is, if we're best friends and we perceive each other differently, how different do you think you perceive yourself compared to how others perceive you?
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously insecurity is bound to happen. We are human and it's something that happens, but if you are ever insecure about how people perceive you, just remember, like, if you already perceive yourself different than how other people perceive you, like, you don't know how other people are perceiving you.
Yeah.
You are never going to know exactly what someone's thinking. So you're never going to know.
Unless you can read minds.
Which, if you can, hit me up.
Please don't hit me up if you can read minds.
Because I think that's cool, but I don't want to know everything. There's just some things I wonder.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a few questions.
Like, I want to know how easy my mind is to read. It's like Harry Potter.
Are all minds the same?
It's like in Harry Potter. Like
the same easy?
Would they be able to get into my mind? What was that class called that he took? That Snape did for him?
I don't remember. I need to read Harry Potter again.
Yeah, we were talking about Harry Potter last night. Grace
Mhm.
loves Harry Potter.
I do love Harry Potter so much. I also think, like, that's so important too, is I think we get so stuck in thinking about what other people perceive us as, and, like, because of those perceptions, what judgments they make, that sometimes we just limit ourselves unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Like, truly, if someone was really interested in something, like, say they're really into Harry Potter, they're really into Star Wars,
Oh, that's targeted.
like something, like, quote unquote, classically nerdy, you know, I would never, ever, ever think of someone less because they're, like, super into that. But I
Right.
think that there are some people out there who would.
Yeah.
But you can't be worrying about that when you go through your life. Like, then you are just going to be a huge worrywart, and you're not going to enjoy anything, which, first of all, happy people live longer. Scientifically proven.
This is true.
Second of all, though,
This
like,
is true. She's pre-med.
this
This is true. She was an IB Chem.
Oh my gosh.
And I was an IB Bio. So you have to listen to
You
us.
have to trust us.
Bear with
Seriously
me.
though, do your own research.
Yeah. Learn.
Just
never stop learning.
never stop learning. Oh my god, we are putting all of the nuggets of wisdom into these, like, 30
We need
seconds.
to say some. We're gonna not say anything too wise for the rest of the podcast
because we've given you too much.
We've already given you too much. This is like a free trial.
You you have too much power now.
Yeah.
What was I saying? But just never be afraid to be into something.
Yeah.
Let yourself explore. Let yourself be excited. And then you will find other people who are excited too.
And you should never. People that are close to you should never judge you for being into something. They're not close to you if they. Unless it's something, like, really bad that you shouldn't be supporting.
Oh god.
You know.
But even then, like,
there's our.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
There's some limits
There's
to
some
it.
limits.
If it's like a hobby or
Yeah.
like an interest, like Grace said, that's like Star Wars or Harry Potter.
Or even just, like, painting. Like, the past few days, I've been so into air dry clay.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much fun. I love it.
It is. I've actually never played with air dry clay. This is my first time.
Well, I've got to get you some, like, to actually play with. My little cousins might have accidentally destroyed, not accidentally on their part.
They're adorable though, so it's fine.
They're really cute. They've just made nothing. So
that's okay. They're learning.
They're learning.
And it's good.
Yeah, they enjoyed the experience, and it was also $5.99 for a literal tub of it. And I made a vase already. I made this little jewelry holder thing, so I'm very excited.
Describe it for the audio listeners.
Oh, yes. Audio listeners, it is about, what would you say, 3 inches in
3, 2.5. I don't know.
Okay, something around that. What is that? Diameter?
Yes.
Diameter. There we go. I'm not a math girly, but Brenna is. We can talk about that in a sec.
Okay.
And it's white because the air dry clay dries white, and it has pink strawberries with green tops on it. Gorgeous. Just a little jewelry holder. I'm very excited to use it. And it kind of matches my vase that I just made. I made, it's actually probably like the same size as your glass right now. Which is about, and
which is of average stature.
Yep, average stature glass. And it's also dried white, and I use the same pink to do little hearts on it, and I put my Lego sunflowers that I made with my boyfriend.
This is a Lego family.
This is a big Lego family. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about math, Brenna.
Let's.
'Cause here's the thing. This is one of the areas, and Brenna and I can be pretty similar in a lot of things.
We can be, but we can also be very different.
We can be very yin and yang. I mean, we even have our sun and our moon necklaces.
Yeah, we're real friends.
We're for reals.
We don't fake
We
here.
just leaned at the same time.
Did you notice that? None of this is coordinated. No script.
No script at all. I didn't even script questions. I was just sitting here, and this is the whole thing. And this is what I really want this podcast to be, like, what I want it to be, is just genuine and authentic. And, like, I want to just ask people things about things that I know are important to them.
Yeah. And this is you demonstrating how well you know me and how, like, fluid our answers can be.
Yeah.
Because we've just got that kind of momentum.
We do. I love it. But yeah, we are very yin and yang, very sun and moon. We complement each other very well, but we certainly have our differences. Hi, Lenny! This is my dog, guys. Wait, I don't
Lenny's
think you can
here.
really see him. He's over
You'll
here.
see him one day.
I'm sure you will. He's adorable. He's a little black lab. He's 9 years old, but he's still...
He likes to smile.
Yes, he does. He likes to jump up and give you, like, bare his teeth for me. But, I promise he's smiling. But yes, Brenna loves math. Brenna was on math team. I do not love math. I am more of a English, history,
Psychology,
language,
history.
Oui, je parle français. Les langues étrées.
She does that.
They
They thought she was a French exchange student in her French class. Her accent was
best
so good.
compliment ever.
Yeah, if someone thinks that you're French, I take that as especially if it's
huge compliment.
Especially if it's someone that's actually French.
Right? And like I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue a little bit ago.
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
Such a good book. Highly recommend. Again, a very
the podcast should have a Goodreads.
Oh, I agree.
Or like a book, like Reese's book club, but
Grace's book club.
While we're here reading.
That's gorgeous, Brenna.
Thank you.
You're brilliant.
Or like even just while we're reading.
While we're reading. That's really cute.
We gotta stay on brand.
Sorry. Math.
Okay, so we just did it again.
Oops.
Oops, I did it again.
Oops, I did it again. We also need a playlist.
Ooh.
We've had multiple
while
song
we're
references
jamming
here. Good! Okay, math.
Yes,
math. What does math mean to you?
Wow.
Very open-ended. It's a very IB learner question.
It is, and I only had one IB class.
That's a niche reference.
Which wasn't even IB math. I've taken a lot of math classes in high school, and I've taken some college, some rudimentary. I went to a STEM school while I still lived here.
Mm-hmm.
And
big math and science girl.
And the thing is, I never wanted to be good at math. I always wanted to be good at English. But I was just...
Which you are.
Which I am, but I'm better at math.
You are.
I think.
I would agree. I think that your natural inclination is towards math and science.
Yeah.
But I think that you, like I was saying, you have a really poetic way of speaking and writing that gives you a kind of uniqueness in English.
But you know what's interesting? I think that the reason I'm good the math and science is because of being creative.
Yeah, I agree. I think that
Mm.
creativity benefits all facets of life.
I agree, because creativity allows you to be open-minded. And you cannot approach math and science without being open-minded. You can't be closed-minded and try to go into a STEM major.
Yeah, because it's all about solving problems.
Exactly. Like, you cannot... And I think that's what English and language arts taught me the most, is having not a set answer. Like, you have to read this and determine from just what you know, from context and from tone and mood. You have to determine what this passage means. With math, it's that same kind of problem solving. Like, use what you have here to find the answer.
Yeah.
And obviously with math, there is a set answer usually.
I hope.
Usually. But I don't know, I feel like for me, especially like connecting back to music is...
I love when you connect things.
It's always connecting back to music. So
brilliant.
Connecting back to music being like my staple and like what makes me me, I feel like is music is all math. And math can be music.
Yeah, because I'm just now learning music theory, and it really is all math.
Exactly.
It truly is. It is.
And so...
Continue.
And so, like, for me, you can't have one and you can't have, like, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, I don't know. It's just, what is math to me? I think math is fluidity. Math is creative. Math can be everything. And everything can be math.
Wow.
It was at that STEM school they had pictures of flowers and stuff up, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is so cute. And then it was because the inside of the flower is the Fibonacci sequence.
I don't even know what that is.
It's the start with one, and then you like add one, and it's like 1, 2, and then it's like hard to explain. If you saw it, you would know.
Okay.
It's like the triangle. It's the product of the.
Oh, I got you.
It's like the product of the two numbers. Two numbers before it is the number
Yeah.
after it.
Yeah.
That's what sunflower. Inside of a sunflower.
But I love sunflowers.
I know. That's why I use this example.
She's brilliant, guys. She's literally brilliant.
And so, even I just go right into my next sentence.
I love you.
I did blue sprinkles, by the way.
Yeah, I'm painting balls.
Nice.
Pickleballs. Don't sue me.
I did blue sprinkles because my donut is yellow, and yellow and blue are the colors of University of Michigan, which is where Grace is going.
Woo!
And yellow
You're
is
brilliant.
my color, gold. But
Brilliant.
we can simplify it down to yellow.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to UCF. Go
Woo,
Knights.
woo, woo,
Charge on.
woo. She's not coming back to Michigan, sadly.
No, I don't want to pay that much.
Can we talk about our colors of the year?
Was mine red?
I believe yours was red.
I think it was black last year,
It was.
and this year it's red. Yours was
it pink?
Yours was pink last year, yellow this year?
Yellow this year? I believe
that
so.
sounds right.
I believe so.
I know that mine is red this year.
I believe mine was pink last year and yellow this year. And this is something that Brenna and I
have done often.
Yes, we really try.
Done every year we've known each other.
Yeah. And I think it's a great way of kind of making a goal without boxing yourself in.
Very true.
And like this year, my year is yellow because I really want to embrace what brings me joy and really want to focus on that, especially going into college, thinking about what is actually important to me.
Right.
And how do I want to live my life? Because things are changing and a lot of decisions get made this year. So I really wanted to focus on that. And I think pink was going back to my roots.
Yeah.
Because I was graduating.
Very
because
true.
pink was always one of my faves.
Right. Yeah, and I remember we picked yellow. Well, you picked yellow. Because like when people think of Grace, they always think of pink.
Yeah.
Even if yellow is really like
my favorite
your favorite color.
Yeah.
And it's just like being true to who you are.
And allowing others to see it as well.
Yeah. And I can't remember why I picked black. I think it was just very like maybe me and my dark academia era.
Yeah. Black was it's certainly a choice. I think it was also finding power within yourself.
Yeah, I think it was like that rich, power, bold kind of move, especially having it be my first year in a place where I didn't know anyone and being like assertive with who I am fundamentally. And red was just like the same thing but more mellowed out. And also just like passion, finding time to be passionate about things that I like really am passionate about.
Yes.
And sticking with that.
Brenna, what would you say is the most revolutionary thing that has happened to you in this stage of your life? I won't confine it to a year or anything, just in this stage of your life.
Probably choosing to go to the University of Central Florida.
Why is that?
Because it's like solidifying that like Michigan is like I'm not in Michigan. And also it's also like when I was in Michigan and I was at the STEM school, everything was just competition to get into the best college. And UCF is a great college, but it's not the prestige of like where people from that STEM school are going.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, this is what matters to me. This is what it's all about.
Yeah.
This is the school I'm going to, and I chose it not because of its like valor or its prestige, but because this is where I want to be for the next 4 years. Like, this is where I want to
This is where I want to
reside and like experience this part of this season of my life. Like,
I love thinking about things in seasons.
Yeah, and it's also just like more than that. Just kind of like this is where I'm going because this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the only school. I mean, it's not the only school, but it's the only school that I wanted to go to that had forensic science. I got into other universities that had like more of a, I guess, name than UCF, but they didn't have what I wanted to do. And it came down to, is this where I want to go because this is, you know, what they have, or is this where I want to go because this is the name it has for itself? Because people would think of this of me if I went there.
But again, it's going back to, you are more than what others think of you.
You are more. Right. How would it be if I gave that advice and didn't take it, you know?
Yeah.
So
that happens a lot.
Yeah. That's probably my biggest, like, most revolutionary thing that happened to me.
Oh, my dad is flipping us off in the window.
In a loving way.
In a caring and funny way.
And you know what?
You know what that reminds me of?
Middle can be a math term, and him using his middle finger, math.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love you. But you know what this reminds me of?
What does this remind you of?
The segment of the episode.
Oh, wow.
The reoccurring segment.
Yes.
Dad advice.
Dad advice.
One of the most influential people in my life has been my father. He's funny, he's witty. We have probably some of the best conversations ever, and he is probably one of the people who's taught me the most in my life. I think that I have friends like you because I grew up having wonderful conversations with my father. My father and I always had, and still have, very deep conversations about what it means to be alive, about literally everything under the sun. And so I think it's really important to talk to the people that we've learned a lot from, specifically dads or father figures, and just take in all of the things that they have learned over the years. And that is me calling them old.
Okay. All right.
So at this time, if you are able, I would love if we could see if your dad is available.
Mr. Hiss?
Mr. Hiss. Hit him up. If you could give the world, anybody listening, one piece of advice, what would you say?
Think before you speak. You gotta stop. This whole trend of let's be honest and let's speak our truth to the world. Let me back up. When I was a kid, there were certain things you didn't talk about. And I didn't understand that, but there's a reason for it, right? It's because certain things get people fired up. Let's use that. Fire up chips. So we haven't figured out how to talk to each other without like getting upset. So thinking before saying your truth can be the difference between pissing somebody off to the point where they'll never speak to you again and learning how to agree to disagree. That's why I think things have gone the wrong direction, because we just are so emboldened to just speak our truth, so to speak, that we forget that our truth sometimes may conflict with other people's. And we get so impassioned about our own beliefs that we feel that maybe that means someone else's are not valid. Imagine somebody coming at you and saying something that you believe to be true is invalid, and how you'd feel about that. And when you think about it that way, you go, oh, I guess I get that. But we get so motivated, right? Like, just see it my way. And we've talked about this before. if you take time, because you know how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to really think about that. You know exactly what motivates you. It takes time to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and go, why do they think that way? Especially if you disagree with it. If you can take the extra bit of time, whatever that might be, and go, what got them there? At least it'll frame how you might want to speak. Make sense?
Yeah.
That'd be my advice. That might calm things down just a touch.
That was Papa Eric advice.
That was good.
And that is why I believe he is the best dad out there. Although I'm sure we're going to get some really good ones on the show.
Yeah, we'll have some real good advice.
But I think he's right. I think that sometimes we just decide to have arguments rather than conversations more often than not. And I do think it's a decide. I think it's a choice. I think that there are some times where some people will say things where you're like, wow, that is really just wrong. And at that point, if it's really that conflicting with you on a moral level, I think you're absolutely welcome to just walk away. But I do think he's right in that there's a lot of wisdom in thinking before we speak and in trying to have calm and constructive conversations.
And I think this goes back to the open-mindedness coming and stemming from creativity. And I think it's just that, you know, as generations change and as time goes on, creativity is dying out. And that's enabling people to kind of be closed-minded.
Yeah.
I feel. And I think that's why mediums like this and like art and like music, everything we've mentioned is so important to create and so important to hone in on and experience, because it's those people that are open-minded. It's those people that no matter what they believe or what they say is coming from a place of them being solidified in something that they believe in and being welcome to, and obviously inviting people on and writing and having people with different beliefs
And different
be on their
mindsets,
show, different mindsets. Oh, we got an
advice.
we got an advice from...
Would you like to read it aloud?
All right.
This is from
This
Mr.
is
Hiss.
from Mr. Hiss, my papa. His one piece of advice that he would like to share is be kind to people. You never know what they have been through. And I think that really reflects what we were just talking about.
Wow.
Being kind to people isn't just being generous and isn't just being cordial. It's being thoughtful
And having empathy.
and watching what you say.
Absolutely.
Around them.
Absolutely. It all goes together.
Dude's a genius.
That's why they're so much alike.
And that's why we're so much alike.
Very much true.
Yeah, I think it's all about, and I think this is exactly goes back to what I wanted this show to be about, is it's about connecting with people and having conversations about what life means. And being open-minded as to what you think and then what I think.
Right.
And being able to have a dialogue about that and not just be
And not
closed-minded and not build a wall.
Exactly.
In a Pink Floyd way.
That's number 2, guys.
So yeah, I think that it's all about doing everything in love. I think that's what it goes back to for me.
And I think that while we're here, we should make a point to be kind to people that probably haven't been kind to. Been kind to.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably the people that you have the least in common with, the most opposed and the most opposition to, and probably the people that you don't want to talk to, that need you the most, because they haven't had you in their life.
And that's what life is all about. Sharing, connecting, and then growing.
Yeah. And you can't grow if you're closed-minded.
Thanks for listening, guys. This was While We're Here, episode number 1. I'm Grace Birko.
And I'm Brenna Hiss.
Thank you for listening.